Welcome back to Maple Sumo. Things are heating up on day 11 of the Haru Basho. Let's get into it. Starting off first, we've got Kinbozan versus Nishikifuji, both men coming in at 5 and 5. This is a quick one. Strong charge together. Kinbozan pulled back and down quickly, so he needs 2 more wins for his kachi-koshi in 5 tournaments. For his first kachi-koshi, rather, in 5 tournaments. Nishikifuji looking to avenge having to pull out early last tournament, but still looking like he's got that injury nagging him. Chiyoshima at 5 and 5 comes up against Nishinoryu, who is 4 and 6 coming up from Juryo. His first time ever fighting in the Makuuchi division. Chiyoshima dances to the side quickly, grabs a belt, and marches him out. A really quick one as well to go 6 and 5 for the Mongolian. Tobizaru at 3 and 7, trying to fight off a Maki-koshi against Kotoeho, who is 7 and 3, trying to secure a kachi-koshi. Tobizaru comes forward hard, gets bounced back hard, right to the edge, but windmills himself, survives, and manages to get to the other side of Kotoeho to turn and force him out, delaying his Maki-koshi and Koto's kachi-koshi, but I think Koto will secure his in the next day or so. Mitakeumi at 5 and 5 up against Asanoyama 6 and 4. Both these men are former Ozeki. Mitakeumi goes for the pull on the Tachiai, and Asanoyama stays close and stretches tight to get the push out. The Gyoji gives the nod to Mitakeumi on this one, but there's a mono-ii, and they take a look and they decided that Mitakeumi left the ring before Asanoyama managed to hit the dirt. So they overturn the decision. The win goes to Asanoyama. He needs 1 more for his 2nd straight kachi-koshi since coming back to Makuuchi after dropping due to injury. Fuji Seiyun at 7 and 3 goes up against Oshoumi at 2 and 8. Fuji Seiyun charges in hard and gets it inside right and forces him back and out quickly for his kachi-koshi in his first ever Makuuchi tournament. So great news for him. He's got to be riding high off the new promotion and getting a winning record. He'll be going up the Banzuke. Oshoumi, yet another loss at 2 and 9. Shishi and Fujiryoga come together, both at 5 and 5, Fujiryoga being the stablemate of Fuji Seiyun. Not doing quite as well right now, but he comes in hard, stays low. He's usually more of a pusher, but they locked up on the belt and he gets tight and managed to leverage under Shishi and force him out to get his 6th win. So just 2 more for him and he'll have a winning record. Asakoryu at 7 and 4 comes up against Asakoryu's at 6 and 4 versus Shodai, who's at 7 and 3. Asakoryu beats him off the line quickly and gets him stood up and pushes him out quickly. So the little muscle man gets his 7th win. Shodai goes down to 7 and 4. He's been showing more aggression in this tournament, but today there was none of that. Ura at 4 and 6 versus Asahakuryu, who's at 7 and 3. Ura is a fan favorite. He gets a deep inside position, but it pushes him back to the edge, but isn't able to force him out. Gets a belt grip. They reset. He tries again to push, and Asahakuryu keeps turning him a little bit to the left, and Ura clearly doesn't like the idea that he might get twisted at the edge, so he allows himself to stop, reset again, gets back in front of him, and then finally he drops his hips, gets his legs under him, and just lifts and drives out for a powerful force-out win that you don't normally see from Ura. So great for him. He's at 5 and 6. Asahakuryu still 1 off that kachi-koshi. Tokihate at 4 and 6 comes up against Hokuto Fuji, who is 3 and 4 due to that toe injury. Tokihate gets a strong inside left, outside right, and swings Hokuto Fuji around to the left and down for the win pretty quickly on this one. Luckily, it looks like Hokuto Fuji hasn't re-aggravated that toe today. He walks off okay. Tokihate goes up to 5 and 6. Oshoma at 4 and 6 comes up against Roga, 3 and 7. These guys go chest to chest immediately. Roga gets his favorite outside left, and the Russian manages to stave off his Maki-koshi and get a win with another force out. So both men now at 4 and 7. They need to win out to get a winning record. So I doubt either of them will, but Roga has the best chance right now. Ichi Yamamoto at 5 and 5 comes up against Iron Man Tamawashi at 3 and 7. Now Ichi comes forward and gets a strong pushing thrusting attack going. Just rolls it in to give the Iron Man his 4th consecutive Maki-koshi in the last year. Tamawashi's, I think he's starting to show his age. He obviously wants to hang on for as long as he can. I think he's still trying to secure elder stock, so he might not be quite ready to retire. And obviously, there's that record of the most consecutive fights ever that he would like to chase. But how far down the Banzuke will he fall before he decides, you know what, this isn't worth my time? Fujinokawa at 4 and 6 comes up against Abi at 2, 3, and 5. Now, this one was a quick Henka from Fujinokawa. He slaps him down quickly. Abi's done this before to other people, so he shouldn't be that surprised when it happens to him. But Fujinokawa hesitates for just a split second to make Abi commit to that two-handed Abizumo thrust. And then as soon as he does, he dances to the side, slaps the hands down, and throws him to the dirt. So he's 5 and 6 now. Honestly, I think this guy's got a solid record. Solid chance of getting a kachi-koshi here. Abi, obviously, he's already got his makuuchi, and with the injuries he's got, I think it might not be a bad idea to pull out for the rest of the tournament. Chirano Umi at 3 and 7 versus Yoshino Fuji at 4 and 6. Now, Yoshino Fuji starts off with a great thrust to the face. Chirano Umi gets inside and forces him back. But right at the edge, Yoshino Fuji manages to twist for an Uwatanage throw to steal the win back. Bring himself up to 5 and 6 and hand Chirano Umi his makuuchi. So great work from him at the edge. Wakataka Kage versus Hirado Umi, both at 5 and 5. Now Hirado Umi comes in, attacks hard, and gets some thrusting going, but Wakataka Kage gets his left hand on the belt and swings that momentum into a throw. He's been looking really strong after a rough start, so he goes up to 6 and 5. Daisho at 4 and 6 versus Atamifuji at 6 and 4. Now, they come forward and Daisho goes for his standard strong pushing thrusting attack, and it does nothing to Atamifuji. He doesn't even look like he noticed he was there, and he turned around, brought his own couple of shoves back to push him back and out. So Atamifuji is now 1 win off of his kachi-koshi. Wakamoto at 2 and 8 versus Oho at 4 and 6. Oho just comes forward strong, gets a deep double inside, and executes a textbook hug and chug to move him out of the ring. Waka's looking rough. He's definitely trying to put on a good show as someone at the what is he at right now? Not Sekiwake. He's you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, sorry. He's obviously going to be leapfrogged, I think, by his brother if his brother can get a winning record here. But I think he's just sort of trying to show that he at least belongs in the Sanyaku, even with a losing record like this. He's going to fall pretty far with it. Komusubi, that's what I was looking for. He's going to fall hard as a Komusubi, but, he's been there before. I think he can be back again. Kirishima versus Gonoyama. These guys are 9 and 1. They're the two leaders. This is the big fight of the day. I don't like that they always do this so early in the tournament, but I like that there's so much pressure right now for Kirishima. These guys are 4 and 4 against each other historically. Gonoyama comes forward and does, his textbook straightforward hard thrusting attack. He keeps the pressure up, but right at the edge, Kirishima manages to shift to the left and slap him down to retain the sole lead at 10 and 1. Now he's well on his way to his 3rd title. One more win, and I think he'll secure Ozeki repromotion. But this man has a match tomorrow against Hoshoryu that I think will be the fight of the whole tournament. Takanosho at 7 and 3 comes up against Kotozakura 6 and 4. Kotozakura, one of the biggest guys to do it right now. He absorbs the charge easily from this pusher thruster and then steps into him, turns him, and forces him to the side with one hand, and then manages to force him down and out. Takanosho touching the ground just before Kotozakura goes down as well, but Kotozakura improves to 7 and 4. One more win for his kachi-koshi. The second last battle of the day, Aonishiki at 5 and 5 versus Koto Shoho 8 and 4. These guys collide hard in the middle. Koto Shoho, you'll remember, beat Aonishiki last year on his way to winning his first championship. Aonishiki moves Koto Shoho back towards the edge in his classic low stance, but Koto Shoho sees the opening. He's read how this guy fights before, and he manages to adjust and slap him down at the edge. So, unfortunately, Aonishiki's streak of double-digit winning records since he joined the top division is definitely over, but there's still a good chance for him to make a winning record. Now, Hoshoryu at 8 and 2 versus Takayasu at 6 and 4. Coming into this final match, Takayasu leads their history 10 to 6, but that's really not indicative of the level of wrestling that Hoshoryu has managed to grow into in the last couple of years. Hoshoryu has won the last 4 matches of theirs, and Takayasu is on a 3-match skid. Hoshoryu's looked in good form the entire tournament, so Takayasu comes in with a double arm extension attack, but Hoshoryu uses his agility to circle to the left and yank the outstretched right arm to pull Takayasu down and stay in the hunt pack at 9 and 2. So tomorrow, 9-2 Hoshoryu is going to go up against 10-1 Kirishima. I think that fight will more or less decide the fate of the whole tournament. If Hoshoryu can take him down, pull him out of the sole lead, then it's the two of them looking at a possible playoff at the end of it. But also, that keeps Gonoyama in the hunt as well. And then there's some other guys like Kuroshoho who still have a legitimate chance. So it definitely will keep things a lot more interesting tomorrow if, and I say when, Hoshoryu can beat Kirishima. But both are excellent wrestlers in great form right now. This should be a great one to watch. Anyways, tomorrow we'll get into day 11. I'll see you at the dojo. Maple Sumo is a No Plot Only Lore production. Check out our other podcasts at noplotonlylore.com.